Take a deep breath. It's snippet time. Hello and welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can feel youthful again, heal our relationships, and ditch regret and shame, and a whole lot more. But you know what? It's really not about the booze. It's not about the booze around here. Why do I say that? Because after a while, when you get on your sobriety journey, you're going to get sick of thinking about it and sick of talking about it. And guess what? It just isn't about the booze. Once you put down the bottle and you start getting a little bit of time behind you, what does it matter, the booze? It's gone. It's gone. Here at the Snippets, I'm not interested in talking to you over and over again about how bad it is for you to drink. You know, someone suggested to me, and it wasn't someone who listens to the Snippets, that's why I didn't listen to them, but they said to me, well, it seems to me you should be talking about all the reasons why people should quit drinking. Is that what you want to hear from me? Is it? Do you want me to list the fact that when drinking increases your blood pressure, that it causes depression, that it causes anxiety? By the way, it causes anxiety, that it does massive damage to your central nervous system, which is why it creates anxiety and depression, that it damages your liver, that it damages your stomach lining and you'll end up with ulcers. Do you really need me to remind you that you're going to end up very moody, to say the least? It does damage to our short-term and long-term memory. The list goes on and on. Do you need me to remind you of that? No, you don't. You don't need me to remind you of that. What you need me to do is share with you the joys of sober living. That's what we're here for. You know why you want to quit drinking. You've experienced the hell. You've experienced the horror. You know, for example, that in addition to all the effects on the body and the emotions like depression, it also damages our relationships. Because why? Because we're grumpy and bitchy and we don't follow through on our promises and we lie and we... I mean, come on, people. We know why we don't want to drink. Instead, what is there to look forward to when we don't drink? That's what the snippets are for. And today, I want to share with you one of the greatest joys that I'm experiencing at this stage of my recovery. So 7 years in, and I've been experiencing this, I would say the last 4, maybe 5 years. And it gets better and better and better every year. In fact, lately it's exponentially increasing as I somehow come into a new era of recovery. So first of all, let's talk about that. What do I mean by that? Here's the first thing I want you to know. When you first give up alcohol, it kind of sucks. So get ready for that. It doesn't have to last that long. It depends on your effort, who you're doing it with, how you're doing it. But, at the beginning kind of sucks. And it also depends, of course, how much you were drinking. But it doesn't take long to get going. And what happens if you are determined to grow and not just not drink, so if you are into growth, which that's what the snippets are all about, you're going to start not only feeling great, but even better than you ever expected. And then what's weirder is you get to a point where you're like, man, this is living. I can't believe I actually have this life. I actually feel happy. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you realize it's a month later and you're feeling even better. And then another month goes by and you're like, this is weird. I feel even better. Is this even possible? Now, by feel better, I don't necessarily mean physically, because you just feel great. You feel great. You have your ups and downs. You're normal. You're human. Hopefully you're exercising and eating right. But I mean emotionally and mentally better. When we decide to grow as human beings and make it our lifelong project to grow as a human being, we learn and expand. And what happens is we get to the point where we realize there is no limit to the growth that we can do. And in fact, because we are spirits, spiritual beings, we can actually experience expansion that is unending. So when, and now let's not get too esoteric here, but we could. It would be fun, wouldn't it? What I'm trying to say is that when you choose a life of growth, it starts out hard and then it starts getting easier and then you start getting traction on it. And it is very, very joyous. Now, one of the things that you can do to start this as early as possible, because you might be in early sobriety and going, well, Becca, what you're talking about seems so far off. Here's something you can do in early sobriety to start getting this feeling. Take that sacred space we talked about last week. Maybe it was the week before. I'll talk about it for a second for those who may not have heard that episode. I encouraged everyone to have a spot in their house that is exclusively theirs, that they use not for TV, not for screen time, that is a spot that you use just for your own time out, even if it's 5 minutes a day. So this could be your bed, it could be a particular chair, it could be a whole room. But creating a space where you decide this is a spot that is mine to use to look after myself, to do self-care. So you've got that spot, but what do you do there? This is how you can start experiencing some of the joys in early sobriety. Use that spot regularly, even if it's hard, because at first you might sit down and go, I don't know what to write in my journal. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know what to do while I'm sitting here. Like, I'm not a yogi. What do I know? And you can feel very uncomfortable and anxious sitting there trying to be all spiritual and growth-like. Becca said, I got to grow. Well, what do I do? And I feel like it's the opposite of all those things. So let's keep this simple. Sit down and read something. There's a thought. Read something that inspires you. And in my community, I have a growing list of resources of my favorite books. These are from all the way from, not a lot of quit lit in there. You can find your own quit lit, because we're not talking about quitting here. We're talking about living and growing. But you'll find my favorite resources for human growth. And they vary. You can join the community. It's totally free. The link is in the show notes. You'll find that in there, plus some courses that I did in the past and free classes and all sorts of awesome stuff. So go ahead and join that. But you could sit in your, I want to stay on topic here. You can sit in your spot, even 5 minutes a day as a human timeout is powerful, 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 because you're saying to yourself, I matter, I care about myself, I want to grow, even if my life is chaotic all day long, these 5 minutes are mine. And you start forming a habit. After a while, you will crave that 5 minutes. And then you'll find a way to expand it to 10 and then 15. But in early sobriety, don't get scared of this. Just allow yourself to sit down, even if you do nothing but breathe. Take a bunch of deep breaths, close your eyes and just say, I'm trying to grow. I matter. I care about myself. There is so much more we can do in this space, right? In this time. This is what the coaching is all about. This is what your coach does for you. Your coach says to you, here's how you're going to use your personal time today. And it's set up in a very specific way, a very strategic way that you are growing and expanding over time. So kids, really, I just wanted to say to you that if you want to experience some of the joys of later recovery, early in recovery, use that sacred space. Take that time out. Make a sanctuary for yourself. These seem like big words, sanctuary. Okay, let's just use a straightforward, take a time out. Sit down, take some deep breaths, and remind yourself that you matter and you care about yourself, because this is not about not drinking. Anybody can not drink. We want to go way farther than that, and we want to feel good, and we want the people around us to feel good, and we want to have relationships that are stress-free, and that is possible, by the way. It really is. All of this comes later in sobriety. Actually, it comes quite quickly. I'm going to talk a lot more about healing relationships in the coming days, and I'm also going to talk a lot more in the coming days about how we can feel youthful again, because after all, the tagline of my show is that we heal relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. So the third one, ditching regret and shame. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a live masterclass in the community on a three simple steps to overcoming regret. And I'll be recording that. If you join the community, you're unlikely to make it live because it's literally happening in the next hour. But even when you join the community, you'll find the replay of that in there, and then you'll find other classes that I do every week. So we're talking today about the third part of my tagline, ditching regret and shame. But I want to talk to you more about how to heal your relationships, how to feel youthful again, how to grow, how to feel amazing, because I know you know why you shouldn't be drinking. You've experienced it. You've felt the hell and the horror. You don't need me reminding you that every day. My dears, I love you madly, and today, for your due, I would like you to move the body. Move it, move it, move it. Take that body out for a walk or to the gym or for a swim, whatever you want to do. Today, move that body, even if it's for 10 minutes. 10 minutes minimum. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.